Hi, I'm Gabriel Nery, composer and sound designer. You just heard my first sound redesigned for a AAA title. I've always been fascinated by the scale of this particular sequence in Death Stranding, and that's why I chose it as my starting point. My goal wasn't to replicate the original work, but to apply my own identity by merging musical composition with sound design. While the original focuses on an oppressive and distorted horror, I choose to explore a more music and cosmic sonority. In this design, you are hearing gravity and ancient matter instead of traditional roars. Now, I want you to break down the process, starting with the first point of contact, the Odradek. To build this sound, I divided my process into two main fronts. First, I experimented with a pure sine wave, pushing it through a chaotic cycle of random pitching and warping to find those unstable electronic transients. Second, I recorded small wooden and plastic boxes I found around my house to create the internal mechanical clicks. Through precise editing, I merged these organic textures with the synthetic noise to make it sound like a fragile piece of modern technology. Now, let's look at the 5 layers that make it up the final result. Now, let's listen to the original experimental recording where this layer were extracted from. From those seconds of raw material, I curated the exact movements that define the final voice of the Odradek. Now we enter what I call acoustic asymmetry. My goal was to create a sound for the Colossal BT that felt like ancient mineral matter. These textures were born from a mix of experimentation, resampling, and Ableton native instruments, including a custom layering rack for random impacts that I show you later in the video. It's important to notice the duality in this design, the contrast between the axial paths, what provides a constant atmospheric tension, and the impacts, which are regressive and transient. This balance is what transforms the sound from mere noise into a deliberate composition. Let's look at the 3 pillars of this atmosphere, the deep sub-bass and the 2 eerie pads. They merge with the organic texture of the rain I recorded at my apartment, which acts as a subtle foundation to ground the supernatural elements in our familiar reality. I designed this special collapse layer by layer. It's not just a loud noise, it's a sonic void. This is the raw session, where I extracted most of these atmospheres. We reached the climax, the void explosion. This group follows a similar logic to the BT atmosphere, but with a focus on pure impact. I used a classic distorted synth that hits just 1 second before the end, and elements that aligns more with current industry standards and provides that aggressive edge I was looking for, without over-complicating the process. The weight of the explosion, rest of two powerful kicks, design in contact. I loaded them with recordings of thunder, shifting stones, and manipulated noises to reinforce the narrative and give it the impact a physical world-shaking texture. To close this breakdown, I want to show you the core of my sound design process. This is a custom layering rack I call Instict Deformation. It's my main tool for creating through controlled chaos, allowing me to generate unpredictable textures that still follow a narrative logic. I will leave you the rack in action. Thanks for watching.